Dear friends, you can't imagine the shock I had when my mom told me I was meant to be an aborted child. It wasn't that she thought about it. No, she actually tried everything she could to terminate the pregnancy. But everything she tried failed. Wow. I looked at her in amazement. Isn't it a miracle that her attempts did not affect my physical form? So, why did she try to get rid of me? It was my dad who told her to do whatever she could to get rid of the pregnancy because they couldn't afford to take care of a third child given their financial circumstances at the time. They already had 2 children they were struggling to maintain, and they only lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. Well, because God had a plan for my life, their own plan failed. And here I am, married, having 4 children of my own, and some grandchildren too, with many more to come by the grace of God. The point is that after I was born, my parents never went bankrupt. They were still able to provide for me. So their reason or excuse they gave was indefensible. I know the subject of abortion is highly sensitive, and I do not intend to go into that. Nor am I here to judge, question, or condemn those who choose to. But the question I ask myself is this: what if that abortion has succeeded and I was not given the opportunity to experience this thing called life? These lovely children I have will never have been born. Just see how God has blessed and increased me on every side with awesome children, grandchildren that will never have been born. These books, these 8 books I've written would never have been written. Book 8 for Africa. This charity that is making a difference in Africa will never have existed. Most importantly, the souls that God has used me to usher into his kingdom may never have been possible. And I wouldn't even be here sharing this video with you. Now, what am I saying? Every child deserves the opportunity to live, even if they were born with any form of disability. There are many physically challenged persons doing some incredible things in the world today. Time will not permit me to name them, but you can check out Nick Vujicic, born with no limbs at all, but he's happily married with 4 children, and God is using him to touch lives and do things that even those not physically challenged are not able to do. So why do some people commit abortion? A survey carried out on abortion parents in the US in 1987 provides some of these reasons. Firstly, 3/4 of those surveyed said that the child would interfere with their work, school, or other responsibilities. In other words, the child would be an inconvenience. About 2/3 said they could not afford to have a child. Half of them said they did not want to be a single parent or that they had relationship problems. The teenagers amongst them said they were not mature enough to look after a child. Some said their parents wanted them to have an abortion. Others said they didn't want others to know they were pregnant. The reasons go on and on. When I was growing up, it was regarded as a shameful thing for an unmarried girl or woman to get pregnant, especially if you are still in school. This is still the case in some cultures today. In order to avoid the shame and so-called embarrassment, many young ladies abort their pregnancies. The sad thing is that later in life, many women regret that decision. If you are watching this video and you happen to fall into that category, please don't feel condemned at all. If you've asked God for forgiveness, he is a merciful and compassionate Father. He has already forgiven you, and you must forgive yourself. However, if you are considering an abortion right now, please think again. I know some who, rather than abort their babies, give them up for adoption. That is a better option, because every life is precious to God. Of course, there are also women who, for medical reasons, were advised by their doctors that they had to terminate their pregnancy to stay alive. A BBC reporter who interviewed me some time ago described my life as dramatic and eventful. In my book, titled The Greatest Debtor to His Love and a Trophy of His Grace, I have shared how I found out that I was meant to be an aborted baby. And I've also shared other dramatic events in my life. I've had different reactions from people who have read the book. My neighbor's husband said to me, I was contemplating coming to knock on your door to find out what you've done to my wife. I can't seem to get her attention anymore. She's glued to your book. After reading my book, a colleague said, please send this book to Nollywood. This very book saved 2 ladies I know from committing suicide. They thought their lives had reached the end of the road. After they read the book, they saw there was light at the end of the tunnel. You might want to get a copy for yourself or know someone who might benefit from it. It's available on Amazon and other retail outlets. Or if you want to get in touch with me, write to info@assurancepublications.com. Please share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more inspirational messages. Thank you and God bless.